there are reports currently out from the Houston Chronicle, from Yahoo Sports, who are saying they've confirmed the source of the Houston Chronicle that Trev Alberts is being targeted, and at this point, the report is being expected to be named the AD at Texas A&M. It is not a done deal at this point. We have not gotten confirmation that the deal is done, but we can confirm, and now Nicole Auerbach from The Athletic, that this is something that's in the process right now. And it looks like we are fairly far down the road, although it is not completed. This is obviously pretty shocking. I don't know that, I think you said you knew he was in the mix, but didn't, I think some people knew he was in the mix, but I don't think anyone expected him to actually leave Nebraska.
Yeah, I'm completely, that it's gotten this far, I think is extremely surprising to me.
So if he's not taking the job, let's play out that scenario. What could this be?
If not taking the job?
Yeah.
So if he's not going to Texas A&M, I don't know. I think his family situation is in play here. I don't think it's a monetary move. You just never know what's going on behind the scenes,
Sure.
right? So you've got Board of Regents, you've got a decision on an interim versus a president, you've got the dynamics of moving forward from a leadership position and transitioning your athletic department. Where Texas A&M is, I think I could safely say this isn't about money.
Okay. And that's the first thing everybody thinks of with Texas A&M, right?
Because it's not. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe this to be a fiscal deal at all. Now, maybe it's I could see a situation in which it's, hey, it's good that you guys appreciate me here. Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because the back channels of being an athletic director at Nebraska it's like any other big time job.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people who can pick up the phone and call and have opinions, and
a lot of people that feel like they deserve an opinion because they've given X amount of money.
Yeah.
But
like that's a thing. So,
but that's not getting any better at Texas A&M.
No, I know that.
Right? It's probably worse.
Which would be which would lead me to believe anything that this has to do with could be family related.
So
maybe
the other thing that's out there that I think we have to at least bring up is he was a named defendant in the lawsuit regarding the women's basketball situation.
100%.
So, I mean, it doesn't seem like that would be the reason, because otherwise, I mean, we were talking off air, Amy Williams probably wouldn't still be coaching if that was the reason.
I believe that to be true.
If that was the reason that Trev was leaving here. I mean, I suppose it could be one of those, just he doesn't want to deal with it, but he doesn't stop being a defendant because he leaves Nebraska, right? Because he was still in leadership at the time.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make the situation go away. Leaving does not make the situation go away.
100%.
So I have a hard time believing it is directly related to that.
I don't believe that to be the case either.
I could be wrong, but just looking at it logically from what we know about the situation, about where Amy Williams is, about the fact that he would still be a defendant no matter if he retires or goes to Texas A&M or anything else. I don't know, like, this doesn't fix a situation for him by leaving Nebraska. So I don't think that's the case. What we can't know at this point, you mentioned you never know what's going on behind the scenes. What we can't know at this point is what is the motivation for taking it this far down the line, right? Because I think that's what's as shocking to people as anything.
That's what's shocking to me.
Yeah.
Right. Not the courting, not.
Yeah, I understand why other people would want to hire Trev Alberts, right? Like, that makes sense. I don't understand. Like, there has to be a variable that we don't have, which is often the case, right? But there has to be a very
it'd have to be fairly substantial.
Yes.
Because you have to kind of remember just 2 weeks ago, the conversations that he and I were having about the position of the athletic department and what his fixation and design was for Nebraska and Coach Rule and Coach Hoiberg, and he said all of his coaches, right? Like I'm taking that at
his word
at face value, because this is not who he is to do something to the contrary without there being an extenuating circumstance.
And there are some people, especially in high level positions, that can compartmentalize those things. So maybe that's the case. I don't know. Maybe because a lot of times, if you're doing a good job at a high value position like athletic director, you're going to have people court you quite a bit, and you're able to separate, hey, this is the job I'm doing right now, while still listening to whatever's happening on this other side. I don't know Trev, so I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's his personality. It seems to think that you don't believe that, which is, you have better insight to it than I do. But I'm fairly stunned, to be honest, just with this isn't just an athletic director that feels like he cares about Nebraska, whatever. This is an athletic director whose number is on the stadium at Nebraska. This is a pretty big deal. And I don't know, this isn't Nebraska is a group of 5 school and Texas A&M comes calling, right? Like they're positioned as in one of the 2 premier conferences, the conferences that are going to get all the things moving forward. He's already in one of those. Yeah, so there's no clear.
I'd like to. I think at this particular juncture, I'd like to be a fly on the wall with the Board of Regents, because that's really the only thing. And I'm not saying this is the catalyst, but if you ask me, like, what could take a guy over the top that loves his alma mater, that's pretty comfortable, that has built a good relationship, it would have to be something extreme with the power structure. And the power structure would be the Board of Regents. This isn't just something.
Now, there is an interim president.
I mentioned that.
Okay. Sorry, I
mentioned.
I apologize. I'm trying to keep up on Twitter at the same time.
I mentioned the interim president and the Board of Regents. Those are, and how that's playing out. Those are the only 2 things that I could see getting this far down the road.
Because Admiral Carter was a big part of Trev coming to Nebraska, right? I've got that right?
Yeah.
So
and
perhaps
Coach Rule
and Coach Rule, yeah. And so perhaps his departure has opened this door for Trev. Maybe, there's always uncertainty when the people above you, there's shifting of those power dynamics. So maybe that's a factor. Is that a big enough factor? I would have expected at least, you wait it out and say, okay, who's going to be my new
it
power
have to
structure?
Be something, because he has to understand, and he's really calculated.
Yeah.
The ramifications of this decision within the state. And if you're okay with that, then I can't knock it. You right? You've got a ton of conviction.
Yeah, because he's gone through the calculus of, I probably can't come back here
ever
in a good light ever.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's, I'm
so you have to be willing. You have to be willing to go through it.
You have to be willing to burn that house to the ground.
I'm telling you, man. I'm willing to be wrong and eat it. It's 9:40. I just can't see him going.